Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders. Salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching in truth and sincerity. Lesson will be entitled, The Arriving American Eagle, landing at NWO at 6 p.m. Lord will, you are edified. Video was inspired by multiple videos from the platform TikTok for our use.
National Weather Service.
First platform, Howl for New York.
Are already causing harm as Texas officials say forecast did not prepare them for the amount of rain that they received. Now, if you missed it, there is serious flooding in parts of Texas right now. People have lost their home, there are still people missing, and the recovery is going to take a very long time. And during a press conference, when the media was asking for answers, they asked why weren't people evacuated, and this was the response.
But listen, everybody got the forecast from the National Weather Service, right? You all got it. You're all in media. You got that forecast. It did not predict the amount of rain that we saw.
Right, and that is exactly what people said would happen if Donald Trump made unnecessary cuts to the National Weather Service. This is the fallout when you have a guy who doesn't know what he's doing. He just thinks he's smarter than everybody and just does everything willy-nilly. And he'll tell you, well, we can just make it right and just put it back in place.
It's deeper than that, okay? Again, it's deeper than that.
Well, the damage is done. And for the people in Texas, they need every positive thought, every prayer that you have right now, because they are going to be in it for a while.
The National Weather Service.
Second video comes from Eric Robertson for use. Texas officials blast National Weather Service for a faulty forecast and deadly flood disaster.
The National Weather Service, right? You all got it. You're all in media. You got that forecast. It did not predict the amount of rain that we saw.
You fired the people that watch the weather, dipshit. We are clearly at the beginning of some horrific fuck around and find out moments that are going to happen to people because of all the disastrous policies of the Trump administration. And this is just the beginning.
The National Weather Service, right?
So Texas, are we going?
Third video comes from Jeffrey Veruse.
Going to say that this thing rising 37 feet in just a matter of minutes is normal? Are we going to say that back in 1936 or 1932, whatever it was, it raised up 36 feet after 36 inches of rain in less than 36 hours, and this time we have 12 inches of rain, right? You say, oh, well, it was different where it was. Fine. But we got a 40-foot wall of surge. Take a look. Look at the width of that river. Look.
Check this out. And of course, fact check this. The company Rainmaker is responsible for this flood. They cloud seeded that area before this flood. Steve Jarvis on TikTok has documented proof that this company is responsible for. Look at other floods like North Carolina and Hawaii. Anyone can look up the cloud seeding documents. People need to wake up and hold these companies accountable for the deaths. It's horrific. Somebody else stated, I wonder if cloud seeding was involved. Check this out. We already know cloud seeding was involved. However, I wonder if a dam was open. My heart and prayers going out for all missing, gone, and families. It's cloud seeding. Cloud seeding is a real thing.
Look at the width over there, how far that is. You see, we're all supposed to believe that with a third of the amount of rain, all of a sudden, we've got this water surge of 40 feet, right? the worst in 100 years, and this all came and nobody knew, nobody predicted it. The weather, nobody knew about this, right?
Our own meteorologist to fine-tune that weather statement, and as many of you know, and many of you in broadcast journalism and meteorology, you can go back and look at your own forecast, and the amount of rain that fell in this specific location was never in any of those forecasts.
So you hear him right there. The amount of rain that fell was never in any of those forecasts. So how could the greatest flood in 100 years not have been predicted? Right? How could they not have known? Oh, well, it's the Texas Hill Country, it's flash floods, yada, yada, yada. Doesn't matter. We got a wall of 40 feet of water and we had no idea. Well, look at that. Map of rain enhancement projects in Texas. Right there in the Hill Country where it happened, huh? I'm sure this is normal. You see nothing and then bam, right? Look at these charts. Look at this. 42 feet is unreal. Something's afoot, right? Everybody's talking about this. This is what's trending. Nobody believes that this just happened spontaneously, right? Think of the anomalies. You have Lahaina, you have L.A., you've got Asheville, North Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, where the Category 3 hit the coast and then turned to a Category 5. Everybody's questioning this stuff. Everybody, everywhere, and it's trending. It's about time we got some truth out of this, no? So
okay, my house is flooded.
Okay, fourth video, CEO Tay's Skinsation. Fair use.
Anybody out there?
Flooding in Texas.
I have my dad on hospice and I need to get him out of here. He's bedridden, he can't walk, he can hardly move, and look where the water is. So somebody please, we've called 911. It's bad over here. In front of the house, it's like a river. I mean, it's like a lake. They can't come look. We've lost our cars, everything. We've lived here for 30 years and this has never happened. So anybody, please, if you have a boat or something, I need help. I need to get my dad out of here. It's starting to smell like sewer in here. Okay, my house is flooding.
What about the storm?
Last video comes from JT, fair use. What if these natural events follow the same pattern for a reason? Again, fair use.
Maybe it's about the reset after. And it's time we've seen this. Alright, let's zoom out for a minute. Because what happened in Texas, it ain't just about rain. It's part of a bigger pattern. And once you see it, it ain't no unseeing that shit. Texas got hit with that flood so fast that folks ain't even had time to react. This ain't the first time we've seen this play out. So let's run it back. Mississippi 2023, same thing. Kentucky in 2022, the whole town's underwater. Even Maui in 2023. But that one wasn't water. Now here's what they don't tell you. That every one of those places, they was all sitting on land with value. Land with resources, history, or opportunity zones. Places where people held onto their homes for generations, not places for sale. Until, of course, something hit. And then after the hit, land drops in value, the locals get pushed out, property scooped up for dirt cheap, and then a few months later, boom, new development, new ownership, and new zip code vibes. Now let's bring it back to Texas. You got Camp Mystic sitting on legacy land, which is a camp that's tied to elite families. I don't think it's just coincidence. It's location. And here's what really got my gears turning. Old documents online shows parts of Central Texas were flagged years ago for infrastructure modernization, whatever that means. So maybe it's not about the storm. Maybe it's about the reset after. And it seems these events keep following the same script. So maybe it was just never bad luck. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about this. Is there a pattern? And make sure to follow if you haven't already.
Oh man. If this is true, the home insurance companies dropped insurance prior to, just like LA. Thanks, I just got a new policy for my home. Many changes insurance isn't covering. I never had a claim neither. 30 plus years homeowner. Is something going to happen in Missouri? Water rising 26 feet in 45 minutes is absolutely insane. It wasn't raining. They opened the dams in flooding out places. You are correct, is why they use DEWs and weather modification. We are rats to them. What is cloud seeding according to AI? Weather modification technique used to encourage precipitation from clouds. All right, fair use. Let's see which one. The reality of cloud seeding, separating fact from fiction, or whether manipulation unleash the truth about cloud seeding. Let's check this one out. Cloud seeding causing floods 10 hours ago. Platform YouTube, Sean Ryan Show.
Colorado and California, Texas and Idaho, they all have.
Who will be held responsible if a mistake occurs that results in harm to human life or property damage? Is it fair to say acts of God would become a thing of the past?
Yes. So there are regulations right now throughout most states in America, particularly in the West, that require any weather modification operators have permits or licenses that are approved by the State Department of Natural Resources, the Department of Agriculture, Departments of Water Resources. And in order to get that permit or license, you have to use approved materials, you have to have certified meteorologists on staff, and you also have to have what are called suspension criteria. So if you make it rain or snow more, right, obviously one thing that people would be concerned about is if there were floods or avalanches. And what suspension criteria means is if there's already flood risk because a cloud is already naturally going to precipitate a lot, or if there's burn scars from wildfires that would cause really fast runoff and flooding, or if the soil moisture is already too high for the water to be absorbed into the soil and would cause flooding, or if there's too much snowpack and there's avalanche risk from having any more snow. Even if our customers want more water, we're regulated by the states in which we operate to not continue cloud seeding, to not continue making it rain or snow, to avoid causing any problems like that. And so if we don't adhere to those suspension criteria, then we would be held liable for any damage caused. And I think that's appropriate. And I wish the federal government had regulations that enforce that as well, rather than it just being done on a state-by-state basis. Now, with respect to the last part of that question, would that make acts of God a thing of the past? You can't totally...
Look, at the end of the day, cloud seeding, is a form of weather modification. And this technique possibly could have been used in Texas, right, for a form of depopulation and to get that land at a cheaper price. With that being said, if what the Jake was saying was true, that they wanted to modernize that area, could that possibly be a potential smart city? We don't know. But we already know through the spirit of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, everything
Colorado
is controlled
and California,
by the Most High. And this is the left hand of the Most High working, regardless if Esau, which I believe he did, manipulated the weather. Okay, it's still in control of the Most High. So with that being said, this American eagle, right, spoken of in Revelation, the 13th chapter. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, America. Okay, and he had two horns. Two horns. In this day and time is a representation for the Democrats and the Republicans. Okay, like a lamb, both parties make it seem like they're for the welfare of the American people. However, they do the bidding for the elite bankers that control this entire fucking system. And he spoke as a dragon, meaning they support draconian legislation, such as the Big Beautiful Bill. And according to that bill, if a natural disaster occur, the government is not responsible to assist that state in effort. So that state is alone, meaning the people have to fend for themselves. And their possessions that have been destroyed or lost remains destroyed or lost. No compensation. This is how it works. That American eagle, okay, meaning what? These parties consisting of the Democrats and the Republicans, are landing at where? The NWO, the New World Order. Trump is bought and paid for. He's not doing what the fuck he wants. He does the bidding for the elite bankers. Period. Let's go to Romans, Salakia. Well, you know what? Yeah, let's go to Romans 13 chapter. Let every spirit be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of the Most High. Meaning what? The higher powers. Going into 2 Corinthians. And verse 4. 2 Corinthians 4:4. What's Lakia? Let's start at 3. But if our gospel be hid, this truth, it is hid to them that are lost, referring to the non-elect, okay, which are Israelites, that lack the Holy Spirit, and whom the God of this world, the Edomites, beginning with their nobility, these 13 Edomite families that control this entire system, and whom the God of this world has blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light, referring to this truth, of the glorious gospel of Mashiach, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them. And if this was allowed, the 2/3 would be saved. They would understand what the fuck is going on. But they are lost because his truth is hidden from them. However, the point is, in whom the God of this world has blinded, going back into Romans 13:1. The God of this world, these higher powers that were ordained by the Most High. Okay, and how did this happen? When Yahushua was Isaac, he gave the Edomites a physical kingdom, which is a through the blessing. And that blessing is a physical kingdom / dominion on earth, a rulership. Verse 2, whosoever therefore resists the power, resists the order of the Most High, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. Meaning what? Punishment, destruction. Because the Most High set Yahushua up to put these motherfuckers in power. And through the Most High, Yahushua is going to remove them out of power. So we don't supposed to do anything, okay? Now, if their mandates, such as Revelation 13 and 16, okay, interferes with our belief system, such as the chip, we don't take that. But this is talking about do not create a militia and attempt to take matters in your or our own hands. Okay? We resist this in the spirit, such as believing in Yahweh Bashem Al Shai and having faith and fear in the Most High, and not taking the chip, not breaking the law, statutes, and the commandments, but adhering to the law, statutes, and the commandments to the best of our ability. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12. Therefore rejoice, you heavens, the actual spiritual realm, and you that dwell in them, the actual spiritual realm. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, people on the earth, and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you. Who is the devil? These higher powers spoken of in Romans the 13th chapter and 2 Corinthians 4 and 4. Having great wrath, because he knows that he has but a short time to do what? To land that American eagle, which is what? The attainment of the new world order. This entire system is a reflection of the pagan Rome Empire. And they want to convert this system into a digital system, which requires what? Smart cities, where all participants have to have that mark of the beast in order to participate. And that's the reason why I said it lands at 6, because 6 is what? Symbolic for the number of this beast system spoken of also in Revelation the 13th chapter. Lord will, this was edifying. Shalom.